1% cut, something a bunch of us voted for, both parties. Couldn't get the votes for that one. Second option was to focus on the one issue the country now is completely focused on, the border issue. We couldn't get the votes for that one either. But when the Senate tried to send us that bill, he said no to it. I think the Speaker has kept his word. I know my colleagues and friends are saying different. I think he has kept his word on those three things that we talked about on January 3rd, and frankly, that entire week. He has kept his word. I think we should keep him as Speaker. I yield back.
Gentleman from Florida is recognized.
Yeah, the problem with my friend from Ohio's argument is that many of the bills he referenced as having passed are not law. We are on a fast track to an omnibus bill, and it is difficult to champion oversight when House Republicans haven't even sent a subpoena to Hunter Biden. So it's hard to make the argument that oversight is the reason to continue when it sort of looks like failure theater. I yield such time as he may consume to my colleague from Arizona, Mr. Bates.
Gentleman from Arizona is recognized. How much time?
What he consumes.
So much as he may consume.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a serious time. And my mind immediately goes to the young deputy from Cochise County who 2 nights ago, while trying to apprehend a runaway vehicle smuggling humans across the border, suffered major injuries, transported to Pima County, where he's in a Tucson hospital fighting for his life. I'm talking about a border that remains wide open, where drugs come through the Tucson sector, the most gotaways known and unknown of any sector along the border. Terrorists coming in. People conducting criminal conduct coming in, criminal gang members, human smugglers, sex traffickers. They're coming across our border to the tune of hundreds of thousands every month. Now, I appreciate my colleagues and their position, but I would suggest something. I don't think you can just skip to last weekend and say, oh my goodness, a CR came out last weekend on Saturday. I think we need to go back to January. I'll say this. This body came together on the Republican side, and we passed a good border security piece of legislation, H.R. 2. That's good. And then last week we passed the DHS bill and the DOD bills, which had funding for our CBP, ICE, military leaders, military men and women. But why were we successful in doing that? What happened to motivate us to get there? Well, for one thing, we didn't bother to pass the 12 appropriations bills as required under the Budget Control and Impounds Law of 1974. We didn't do it. And you know how many times that's not been done? 25 years in a row. And you know how many CRs this body has passed in that same period of time? 130. You know what that gets you? A $2 trillion plus structural deficit like we had in fiscal year 23. You know what that leads you to? A $33 trillion national debt, which is where we sit today. Leads you to somewhere north of $700 billion in interest payments. And you know why that happened? Because this body is entrenched in a suboptimal path and refuses to leave it. Refuses to leave that path. You cannot change if you're unwilling to change. We had every opportunity to change. We were promised change. We were promised we were going to go ahead and we were going to get those 12 bills done. And if we got those 12 bills done, do you know why you do 12 bills? Because it allows you to reduce spending, get rid of wasteful, duplicative programs. It allows you to set an agenda to restore fiscal sanity. We chose to not do it again. We were promised we'd do it. That's why at the end, some people said, we'll vote present. We'll go ahead. We're going to put our trust in Mr. McCarthy to become the Speaker. That didn't happen. I suspected that would be the case. That was my struggle. That was my struggle last November and December. I iterated it to this body, our conference anyway. When we got to the debt ceiling, again, that seemed to spring upon everybody like a surprise. And when that happened, I was in there for some of those negotiations on where that number would be. And I was astonished how that $1.5 trillion number was negotiated. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But I will tell you this. To his credit, the Speaker told us one thing that I believe to be true. He said that that's basically the ante in a poker game. He can sit down at the table. And I told my colleagues who supported that $1.5 trillion in 8 months, that you're willing to raise the debt ceiling, that's the opening marker. And indeed it was. And now projections are many $trillion above that. Yes, I think it's time to make a change. I'm not the only one. And that's it's somber. Thus it is somber. But what have we failed to accomplish? Why didn't we get this stuff done? When we're campaigning, we're talking about an extension of the debt ceiling to January of 2025. We're talking about additional Ukraine funding. Is that going to be, maybe that's good in your districts. Maybe it's not. But that money's not offset. We're not paying for it. We haven't designated how we're going to pay for that. The same with the disaster package. The IRS remains 80% increased. And I would tell you, I could go down the list, but I will just tell you why this happens. When you don't do your 12 budget bills, and you rely ultimately on a CR, and I'll get to the calendar in a second, what happens is you cannot leverage this administration to actually enforce the border laws that you need to have enforced. This is a lawless Biden regime. They will not enforce border laws. And we can pass them till we're blue in the face. But until you leverage the budget and the spending, you will not see enforcement by this administration. So now take a look at the calendar that we were just provided last week. We're supposed to finish by November 3rd our 12 bills. By November 17th, that's when we're supposed to see that the conference committees have come together, both sides, and we've resolved this. I don't believe that that's going to happen. It wasn't going to happen before. You were betting on the come again. At some point, I'd urge you to stop betting on the come and bet on the reality. That's why I can't support the Speaker any longer. I'll be voting for the motion to vacate. Yield back.
Reserve. Gentleman yields back his time. Gentleman from Florida.
Reserves.
Reserves. Members are advised to direct your comments to the chair, please. Gentleman from Oklahoma.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I yield 2 minutes to my very good friend from Arkansas, Mr. Westerman.
Gentleman from Arkansas, Mr. Westerman, is recognized for 2 minutes.
Selah, S-E-L-A-H, Selah. This unique word scattered throughout the Psalms signals to the reader to pause, reflect, consider, and maybe take a deep breath before moving on. Psalmists use Selah to emphasize the significance of a statement. For example, King David wrote, "Blessed be the Lord who daily bears our burden, the God who is our salvation." Selah. That is a profound statement with huge implications. It deserves more than a cursory consideration. Within the next hour, this House will vote yea or nay to vacate the Speaker's chair, a profound action with huge implications. This was last tried in 1910. Joseph Cannon won the vote. 113 years later, my office is in the Cannon Office Building, and Uncle Joe Cannon's statue sits just outside this chamber. No living human has taken the vote we're about to take. It deserves that we pause, we reflect, that we consider deeply the ramification of our actions. To my fellow Republicans who would consider voting yes to removing our Republican Speaker, please pause and ask yourself two questions. Will your yes vote make America stronger? Will your yes vote strengthen conservative policies? If you believe yes is the right vote, please stand before this body and the American people and articulate your plan, not your grievances or your wishes, your plan. Convince the mass majority of the Republican conference that strongly disagrees with you to follow you. If you cannot do that, which you have failed to do so far, then voting yes is at the least a disruptive overreaction. In reality, it's selfish, bad for conservative policies, and bad for America. That's why I strongly support Speaker Kevin McCarthy, and why, without hesitation or reservation, I will vote no on this disastrous resolution. I yield back.
Gentleman from Florida.
There's nothing selfish about wanting a Speaker of the House who tells the truth. I reserve.
Gentleman reserves his time. Gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Cole.
Mr. Speaker, I yield 2 minutes to my very good friend from Kentucky and fellow member of the Rules Committee, Mr. Massey.
The gentleman from Kentucky, Mr. Massey, is recognized for 2 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, as the only still serving co-author and co-sponsor of the motion to vacate Speaker Boehner, I can tell you this motion to vacate is a terrible idea. As the only member who's serving here who took every chance to vote against Speaker Boehner and to vote against Speaker Ryan, I can tell you that this chamber has been run better, more conservatively, and more transparently under Mr. McCarthy than any other speaker that I have served under. As a member of the Rules Committee, one of three conservatives who were placed there out of trust, the Speaker gave us a blocking position by putting 3 of us on there to keep an eye on the Rules Committee to make sure the process was fair and even. I can tell you it's been fair and even. None of us are voting against the Speaker today. Regular order is at odds with predetermined outcomes. Yet the Speaker is being accused of not holding to regular order and predetermined outcomes at the same time. It is not possible. You cannot be for both at the same time. I was a party to the January agreement, and I can tell you that there were promises in there, but there was never a promise for an outcome. There was never a promise that you could force Joe Biden to sign something. There was only the promise that we would try, and try we have. We have tried in the Rules Committee. We have tried on the floor. We've been trying this since the summer, and there's enough blame to go around for why we don't have 12 bills, but part of it was a relitigation of the debt limit deal. By the way, there was no promise on the debt limit deal, no conditions on that in January, 0 whatsoever. I was in the room for that. So the 12 bills were delayed over what? $100 billion. That's a lot of money. But it's nothing compared to the $2 trillion that I came here to object to when Speaker Pelosi and President Trump pushed that bill through. We've had over 500 amendments. Listen, this is a referendum on this institution. We have tried regular order. Speaker McCarthy has tried regular order. If regular order fails today, if you vacate the Speaker, nobody is going to try it again.
Gentleman's time has expired.
This institution will fail. Please do not vacate the Speaker.
Gentleman from Florida.
I reserve.
Gentleman from Florida reserves his time. Gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Cole.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I yield 2 minutes to my very good friend from California, Mr. McClintock.
Gentleman from California, Mr. McClintock, is recognized for 2 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, if there was ever a time for sobriety, wisdom, and caution in this House, It is right now. If this motion carries, the House will be paralyzed. We can expect week after week of fruitless ballots while no other business can be conducted. The Democrats will revel in Republican dysfunction, and the public will rightly be repulsed. It'll end when the Democrats are able to enlist a rump caucus of Republicans to join a coalition to end the impasse. This House will shift dramatically to the left and will effectively end Republican House majority that the voters elected in 2022. And this, in turn, will neutralize the only counterweight in our elected government to the woke left's control of the Senate and the White House at a time when their policies are destroying our economy and have opened our borders to invasion. There are turning points in history whose significance is only realized by the events that they unleash. This is one of those times. We are at the precipice. There are only minutes left to come to our senses and realize the grave danger our country is in at this moment. Dear God, grant us the wisdom to see it and to save our country from it.
Gentleman from Florida.
Mr. Speaker, there is nothing sober, wise, or cautious about the path we are on. We are on a path to financial ruin if this House does not take a different posture, a different procedure, and yield toward different outcomes and a better future. I reserve.
Gentleman reserves his time. Gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Cole.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I yield 1.5 minutes to my very good friend from Florida, Mr. Jimenez.
1.5 minutes. Gentleman from Florida is recognized for 1.5 minutes.
I stand before my colleagues in the nation as a proud representative of the great state of Florida. I truly am beyond blessed to represent the paradise that is Miami-Dade County and the Florida Keys, and I am beyond proud to represent my community before this Congress, to stand with a leader who has consistently demonstrated an unwavering commitment to our country and to the principles that define us as Americans, Kevin McCarthy. Today is historic for a lot of reasons. For one thing, this is the first time in over 100 years as this has been attempted. But it's also because we're part of a Congress with historically tight majorities for the Republicans in the House and the Democrats in the Senate, and we have a Democratic White House. Divided government, that's what we have. The need to negotiate, to find solutions to the issues facing this country. That's a reflection of the principles that are uniquely American, principles that make this country exceptional, and principles that allowed me, an exile who came here from Cuba, fleeing communist Cuba, to serve in this very institution. You see, I wasn't born here, and everything that I am, everything that I ever will be, is thanks to America. The best part about it is that my story, the story of the community that I'm so proud to represent, is a story of many in this body, is that we are not the exception in America, we are the rule. That's the America that Kevin McCarthy has fought for his entire career. Kevin McCarthy is a champion for the American dream, and he's proved it as our Speaker. Thomas Jefferson once said, "I predict future happiness for Americans if they can prevent the government from wasting the labors of the people under the guise of taking care of them." McCarthy.
Gentleman's time has expired.
Thank you. Let's keep Kevin McCarthy our Speaker. A great man, a great leader, a great Speaker. Thank you, and I yield back.
Gentleman from Florida, Mr. Gaetz.
Mr. Speaker, may I inquire as to my remaining time?
Gentleman has 9 3/4 minutes remaining.
I reserve.
Gentleman reserves his time. Gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Cole.
Much, Mr. Speaker. I yield 1.5 minutes to my very good friend from Iowa, the gentlelady, Ms. Henson.
The gentlelady from Iowa, Ms. Henson, is recognized for 1.5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today in support of our Speaker, Kevin McCarthy. Let's be very clear here. We would not have a House Republican majority without the relentless efforts of this man, our Speaker. Under his leadership, Joe Biden's policies have had a check and balance. His policies have created a horrific border crisis, 10,000 illegal immigrants a day surging across our border. Under Speaker McCarthy, Republicans have passed legislation to secure our border. Joe Biden has done everything to squash American energy, selling our oil reserves to China. Under Speaker McCarthy, Republicans have passed legislation to unleash American energy dominance. Joe Biden has spent taxpayer dollars like there's no tomorrow. Under Speaker McCarthy, we have returned to passing single-subject appropriations bills and ending the status quo of omnibus spending. One of the most valuable pieces of advice that I received was from Kevin McCarthy when I got here to D.C. He told me to separate the signal from the noise. The noise is those who are causing chaos for their own personal benefit while ignoring the needs of their constituents and this country, grinding our work here to a halt. The signal is the many accomplishments that we've delivered for the American people with Speaker McCarthy at the helm. The signal is the failures coming out of the White House time and time again. The signal is the work that we must do today and going forward to save our country for my kids and yours. My colleagues today here have a choice. Be a chaos agent or get back to work. So I call on my colleagues, let's separate the signal from the noise. Let's support our Speaker, Kevin McCarthy, so we can get back to work for the American people. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield back.
Gentleman from Florida, Mr. Gaetz.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think I've caught the signal, too. The signal is for $33 trillion in debt, facing $2.2 trillion annual deficits. And our fellow Americans may be watching, wondering, how does that happen? How does the greatest country in the world have a process so broken that it would be laughed out of the rooms in the halls of the state legislatures where many of us come from? Here's how it works. The law says we're supposed to have the very single-subject spending bills that my colleague referenced in the summer. That we're supposed to have that and move it. But there's a dirty little secret in this town, and that is if you delay, if you hold the bills, if you make multiple contradictory promises, as Speaker McCarthy has done, and you back everybody up against shutdown politics, well, nobody wants to shut the government down. No one cheers for a shutdown. And of course, when people are backed up against shutdown politics, the decision calculus changes. So year after year, decade after decade, we break the law and we do the same thing. We pass a continuing resolution, then we pass another continuing resolution, and then it's either another continuing resolution or an omnibus bill or a series of minibuses that lump these disparate things together. The American people want all of us to take votes on single subject matters. They don't want to see these things all mushed together and log rolled. And it was concerning to me to hear of news of a secret deal on Ukraine funding that would have log rolled more money with Ukraine with our southern border. Now, how offensive is that to our Customs and Border Patrol, to our ICE, to the people that are suffering as a consequence of our border, that some of my colleagues are only willing to stand up and fight for our border if they could send billions to Ukraine to fund their border too? Well, I've had enough of that, and that's why I brought this motion to vacate. I reserve.
Gentleman's time is reserved. Gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Cole.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I yield 1 minute to our distinguished Majority Leader, my good friend from Louisiana, Mr. Scalise.
Gentleman from Louisiana, the Majority Leader, Mr. Scalise, is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank my friend from Oklahoma for yielding. And when we go back to January, as many people have, we knew that it was going to be a narrow majority. We also knew that it wasn't going to be easy. How many of us came here because we thought this job was going to be easy? How many of us thought the task ahead of us to address the problems of this country was going to be easy? One thing we did know is that if we were going to finally start confronting problems that had been ignored for years and years and years, we had to change the way that this place worked. And one thing Speaker McCarthy embraced from day one is to start making those kind of changes to this institution, opening up the process, allowing members to be more engaged, having amendments come to the floor, single subject bills, doing appropriations bills. Yes, making that happen overnight is not something that happens automatically, but it started to happen, and we are now seeing the fruits of it. Just last week, we had 4 different appropriations bills on this House floor, 4 different ones. Now, those bills took weeks and weeks to finally get to the floor, going through an open committee process, hundreds of amendments, each one of them, where Republicans, Democrats could bring their ideas. And we debated those bills on the floor, some until after midnight, where members could actually participate in the process. This has been a broken process for a long time. But it's a process where if we're going to confront the problems that families are facing, because right now we need to resolve our differences inside this House chamber. before we can then go and fight for those families who are struggling. But every single day across America, families are struggling with real problems that we're going to have to get back to solving. And those problems are real for them. It's inflation, it's the economy, it's high energy costs. It's an open southern border that doesn't just affect the border states, it's affecting every state. Republican districts, Democrat districts, everybody knows it. And it can be ignored by the White House, but this House is the only body that started to take action. When we, with H.R. 2, and then with the border bill last week, and with over the action we took last week, over 70% of government funding passed out of the House. However everybody voted, Republican or Democrat, this House passed funding for over 70% of the federal government's operation, and it's sitting over in the Senate where they've passed zero. And we're going to beat up each other and talk about our internal processes, and we need to get our internal processes working better. But you know what? So does that other body over there, and so does the White House. Everybody in this town needs to be engaged in addressing these problems. But if we don't start here, and if we don't focus these next 45 days, because that's what we've got in front of us. We've got 2 bills this week. We've got 2 more appropriations bills next week. And if we're going to be confronting those, we've got to stay focused on our mission. What the other side does, let's continue to put pressure on them. But we also need to put pressure on ourselves to do our job. And Speaker McCarthy's been leading at the top of the level to make sure that we have the tools to do our jobs in a different way than the House has done it before. This House is going to have to continue to make those changes. But the American people sent us here to confront those problems. We're finally starting to. This isn't the time to slow that process down. We need to keep doing our work. We need to keep fighting for those families who are struggling. But so does the Senate, and so does the White House as well. Let's keep doing this work that we were sent here to do. I yield back.
Gentleman from Florida is recognized with 7 3/4 minutes remaining. Mr. Cole commands 12 1/2 minutes left in this debate. Gentleman from Florida.
I agree with everything that the majority leader said in those remarks, except one thing. It is astonishing to hear any colleague give Speaker McCarthy credit for moving on to the single subject appropriations bills. As you heard my colleague Mr. Biggs say, that was never the plan from Speaker McCarthy. The week before we moved on to those single subject appropriations bills, the plan was another CR. He pitched a CR. They tried to get us to vote for a CR, and only when a brave few said, we are done governing by continuing resolution. We are here to eulogize the era of continuing resolution. We will not do it. We will not pass it. These bills can go. The spending may rise and fall as the years pass, but the notion that we're going to lump in the Department of Education and the Department of Labor with our military and our troops and our Border Patrol is fundamentally unserious, and I would suggest chaotic. We cannot do that. It was only because we forced that to happen. And by the way, if we continue with Speaker McCarthy, the appropriations process will go right back to what he wanted it to go back to. Just a sideshow, just a puppet show, just something to keep the hamsters on the hamster wheel as they continue to back people up against a calendar, centralize power with the lobbyists and special interests that move all kind of money through the leadership. And then that's how they get their way, and that's why the American people have been getting screwed decade after decade, and I'm not going to tolerate it anymore without a fight. I reserve.
Gentleman's time is reserved. Gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Cole.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I yield 2 minutes to my very good friend, fellow member of the Appropriations Committee, Mr. Garcia of California.
Gentleman from California, Mr. Garcia is recognized for 2 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I want to recalibrate our minds on what is actually happening here today. This proceeding looks important, it feels consequential, but let's look at what else is happening across America. Today, about 300 Americans will die from fentanyl poisoning. Today, about 11,000 people will illegally penetrate our borders. Today's debt is approaching $34 trillion. Today's mortgage rates just hit a 25-year high, now approaching 8%. Our energy prices are again at back-breaking highs with gas approaching $8 a gallon in my district. Today, China and the CCP grow stronger with an intent to go to war by 2027, and our military is experiencing record low retention and record low recruitment. This is the reality of today for 335 million Americans under President Joe Biden. It's a dark and scary reality. This Republican majority here today in the House is the only firewall against the damaging far-left policies of the Biden administration. The single-subject appropriation bills that we were supposed to be voting on this week will literally fight to reverse the darkness of these realities and fight inflation, cut spending, secure our border while enhancing our nation's security and investing in our soldiers at a meaningful level. But today, this body filled with people in fancy suits, led by a few Republicans who are running with scissors and supported by Democrats, who have personal issues with the Speaker, have uncertain intentions and even more uncertain goals, and they've decided to make today about drama, not about solving problems and helping our constituents, but about drama. We need to be the no-drama option for America, this party, this majority, and I fear that this self-inflicted drama of today jeopardizes our majority and by definition removes the last layer of defense protecting America from this Biden administration. Let's dispense with the drama, do our jobs, and move on with defending this beautiful country. I yield back.
Gentleman from Florida.
Yeah, I'm here to solve problems too, but we have decade after decade of history showing us that you don't solve any problems with continuing resolutions and omnibus bills. That creates more problems, more debt, more inflation, more pain for American families. So the way to solve problems is to break the fever dream of governing by continuing resolution and omnibus bill and instead return to the very single subject spending bills that we will only get if my resolution passes to vacate Speaker McCarthy. I reserve.
Gentleman reserves his time. Gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Cole.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I yield 2 minutes to my very good friend from North Carolina, Mr. McHenry.
Gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. McHenry, is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Every step of the way, Speaker McCarthy has been doubted. After the first Speaker vote, he was mocked, right? And after 15, they called him Speaker. And even then, it was the media and the left that mocked him. With the narrowest Republican majority in a generation, what did we achieve? We brought the president to the table when he stubbornly said for 100 days they would not negotiate on the debt ceiling. I took him at his word. The Speaker said, no, we'll get him to the table. And sure enough, we did. The result? The most conservative spending package we've seen in generations, the largest spending cuts year over year that any Congress has passed. Conservative outcomes. So I understand your position on the left. I understand that. But my friends on the right, why? And then this past weekend, so I understand the frustration on the left at what happened on the continuing resolution. But why would we have conservatives object to that? Why will we have House members object to that? We rolled the Senate. We never roll the Senate as a House. Moreover, we never roll the Senate to get less spending, and we got it this weekend. So I understand why the left is mad. What I don't understand is why some Republicans think that that's a bad thing. The frustration for me today, I understand where the liberals are. I know you support the constitutional order, except in a moment like this when you are questioned on that. I understand that. You can't be counted on in a moment like this with the state of the speakership. But for Republicans, why will we give up a conservative working majority for better outcomes and hand the keys over to the Democrats? Why would we do that? And furthermore, with this record of success that we've seen Kevin McCarthy and a Republican majority produce in a Washington run by Democrats, we're going to throw that away, resulting in more liberal outcomes, not more conservative ones. So I understand why the left is where you are today. You don't like an effective conservative majority, and I don't blame you. But on the right,
gentleman's time has expired. Gentleman from Florida.
It is lovely to hear from the principal architect of Mr. McCarthy's debt limit deal, but here's the reality. The only Republicans in America who believe that the debt limit deal was conservative are in this chamber right now. Because all over America, Republicans think that when you negotiated that debt limit deal, they took your lunch money. I reserve.
Gentleman reserves his time. Gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Cole.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I yield 1.5 minutes to my very good friend from my home state, gentlelady Ms. Bice.
Gentlelady from Oklahoma, Ms. Bice, is recognized for 1.5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today in support of Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Under his leadership and a very small 5-seat majority, House Republicans have achieved, contrary to popular belief, numerous victories. We passed the Parents' Bill of Rights, the Lower Energy Costs Act to lower the cost of gasoline and restore American energy independence, the Fiscal Responsibility Act, which was one of the largest enacted cuts with enforceable spending caps in American history, and H.R. 2, the most conservative southern border security bill in history. All of this while fully funding our military and our nation's veterans. Let me be abundantly clear. Attempting to remove Speaker McCarthy will put this House in a stalemate and paralyze our ability to fight for our constituents and instead create a fight amongst one another. We have 43 days to restore fiscal responsibility and advance conservative appropriations priorities, which is exactly what my colleagues have asked for. Instead, we are threatening any House proceedings. This is an unnecessary distraction. Working together under the leadership of Speaker McCarthy is of the utmost importance. I stand and strongly support Kevin McCarthy for Speaker of the House, and I encourage my Republican colleagues to do the same. Thank you, and I yield.
Mr. Cole continues to reserve his time. He has 7 minutes remaining. Mr. Gaetz controls 5.5 in this 1-hour debate. The gentleman from Florida is recognized.
I'll reserve.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Cole.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I yield 2 minutes to my very good friend and our distinguished conference leader, Ms. Stefanik of New York.
The gentlelady from New York, Ms. Stefanik, is recognized for 2 minutes.
Anyone and everyone who knows Kevin McCarthy, whether they are friend or foe, knows that Kevin McCarthy is a happy warrior. He is tireless. He has that uniquely American grit. Under Kevin's speakership that lasted 15 rounds of him never giving up, this Republican majority has exceeded all expectations. We reopened the People's House. We passed the strongest border security bill in our nation's history. We passed an energy plan to unleash American energy dominance. We passed defense bills to support our troops. Under Kevin's leadership, he's brought hundreds and hundreds of bipartisan members of Congress to Israel, our greatest ally. He elected the most diverse class of Republicans ever, with the largest number of Republican women ever in American history. This boy from Bakersfield, he cares deeply about his constituents, his country, and the American people. And that includes each and every one of his colleagues. He's been to our districts,
Gentlelady will
toasted at our
suspend.
weddings, celebrated the birth of our children, and has cheered us when we haven't believed in ourselves, which is why the Republicans strongly support Speaker McCarthy and are proud he is our Speaker. And I yield back.
Gentlelady, it was not the intent to cut the gentlelady off, except that we have too much chatter going on in the House chamber. Every member deserves to be heard. So if you have private conversations you need to have, please take them from the floor. Gentlelady may continue.
As I have said, this Speaker has been to our districts. He has toasted at our weddings. He has celebrated the birth of our children, mourned the loss of our loved ones. Now more than ever, the Republicans must unify. The stakes are too high. We need to save our country, which is why this conference is proud to strongly support Kevin McCarthy as Speaker of the House. I yield back.
Gentleman from Florida.
I would just say, if this House of Representatives has exceeded all expectations, then we definitely need higher expectations. And while it's heartwarming and kind that the Speaker calls people on their birthday and visits their district and congratulates them on their children, please know this isn't a critique of the individual, it's a critique of the job. The job hasn't been done. We've had multiple contradictory promises, and it's just quite something. For those of you keeping track at home, the last 3 speakers you've heard opposing my resolution all voted for the debt deal. So if you believe that the debt limit deal that Speaker McCarthy brought into law was a good thing, maybe you agree with their perspective. I think the debt limit deal was a terrible deal, and that's one of the reasons. It really was the original sin of the McCarthy speakership, and it's one of the reasons I seek to vacate the chair now. I reserve.
Gentleman, time is reserved. Gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Cole.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I yield 2 minutes to my very good friend from the great state of Louisiana, Mr. Graves.
Gentleman from Louisiana, Mr. Graves, is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the gentleman from Oklahoma for yielding. Mr. Speaker, we've been here for 8 months with one of the tightest majorities in modern history. Yet look at the accomplishments of this majority, this conservative majority, with the majority of Republicans voting for the strongest border security in my lifetime, fighting against this incomprehensible energy policy that's driving up energy costs 40%, utility and gasoline payments, pushing Americans into energy poverty. We passed legislation to unleash America's energy resources, pushing back this administration's brainless policies on energy. We've passed legislation to pull back, to stop spending $4.8 trillion that I want to make note. My friends that are carrying this motion to vacate opposed. We've passed legislation to streamline regulations, permitting, environmental laws for the first time in 40 years. Again, my friends here opposed. We strengthened work requirements for welfare to get people back into the workforce. Again, my friends over here opposed. I keep wondering, what is going on? Are we redefining what conservative is? What's going on in this country today? What's going on in this body? Where you have Freedom Works, Heritage, Chip Roy, and Jim Jordan say something's conservative, and these folks say it's not, and they're right. And all of a sudden, my phone keeps sending text messages. Text messages saying, hey, give me money. Oh, look at that. Oh, look, give me money. I filed the motion to vacate. Using official actions to raise money. It's disgusting. It's what's disgusting about Washington. Mr. Speaker, we've watched as these folks right here that have brought up this motion to vacate have refused to pay our military service members, refused to pay them. I want to quote my delegation member, my senator from Louisiana, John Kennedy. If we're not going to pay our service members, if they're not going to be there to protect us, next time someone invades America, call a crackhead. Let me know how that works out for you.
Yield the gentleman another 30 seconds.
Gentleman is recognized for an additional 30 seconds.
Mr. Speaker, I've heard people talk about bad faith here. I've heard them make reference to this January agreement. My friends from Arizona, Virginia, and Florida. Let me be crystal clear. Not a single one of them were in the room. You know what? The Speaker didn't meet the targets of that January agreement. He exceeded them. The greatest savings in American history. The greatest savings in American history. Mr. Speaker, this isn't about fundraising. This is about our country. It's about our children and our grandchildren. We need to stand behind the slimmest
30
majority.
seconds.
We need to stand behind the greatest speaker in modern history that has delivered the best conservative wins for this country. I yield back.
The gentleman from Florida.
My colleague says we've passed the strongest border bills in history. Well, guess what? Look at the border right now. We didn't use sufficient leverage in the debt limit or in any other thing to actually get results on the border. The border is a disaster, really something I don't think you're going to be campaigning on, that you fixed the border. Second, you said you streamlined regulations. What the gentleman from Louisiana doesn't tell you is that all of the regulatory reform he was just bragging about is waivable by the stroke of a pen of someone in the Biden White House. Do you really think you've got anything for that? It's a total joke. And then finally, the welfare to work that the gentleman from Louisiana said we got. The welfare programs that they said that they streamlined with their welfare to work stuff, they're actually going to grow. Because while they did work requirements, they blew out those programs with expanded eligibility. I'm real glad you guys didn't put work requirements on Medicaid. It probably would have resulted in Medicaid expansion. And when it comes to how those raise money, I take no lecture on asking patriotic Americans to weigh in and contribute to this fight from those who would grovel and bend knee for the lobbyists and special interests who own our leadership, who have, oh, boo all you want, who have hollowed out this town and have borrowed against the future of our future generations. I'll be happy to fund my political operation through the work of hardworking Americans, $10 and $20 and $30 at a time, and you all keep showing up at the lobbyist fundraisers and see how that goes for you. I reserve.
Once again, the chair would admonish those speaking from the floor to direct their comments to the chair. Gentleman from Oklahoma.
Mr. Speaker, I would inquire as to how much time remains for each side.
From Oklahoma controls 3 minutes. The gentleman from Florida has 3 minutes as well.
I advise the gentleman from Florida I'm prepared to close if he is. Mr. Speaker, I yield the balance of my time to my great friend from North Dakota, Mr. Armstrong.
Gentleman from North Dakota, Mr. Armstrong, is recognized with the remaining 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let's be clear why we're here. Because the incentive structure in this town is completely broken. We no longer value loyalty, integrity, competence, or collaboration. Instead, we have descended to a place where clicks, TV hits, and the never-ending quest for the most mediocre taste of celebrity drives decisions and encourages juvenile behavior that is so far beneath this esteemed body. Kevin McCarthy has done more in 9 months to restore the people's house than any speaker in decades. We have done regular order. We have had open amendments. And every single member of this chamber has the right, the ability, and the opportunity to be heard on the floor. It's been messy. It's been raucous. And at times, it's been chaotic. And God bless every minute of it. Because democracy is supposed to be hard. And because the alternative is a closed-door process where 2,000-page bills come out of the Speaker's office at midnight and are forced to the floor the next morning. Kevin McCarthy has broken that cycle. That alone is enough for him to remain our Speaker. But that doesn't deliver his opponents what they crave the most: attention. We shouldn't stand for it. I won't stand for it. I will stand here with our Speaker, with our leader, that the overwhelming majority of our Congress supports. And you need to look no further than where the opponents are sitting today in this chamber. They're not over here, they're over there. So we're going to face these challenges together, and I say bring whatever comes next, because we believe in the job you have done, Mr. Speaker. We believe in your vision. And most importantly, we are proud to call Kevin McCarthy our friend and our Speaker of the House. And with that, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back his time. The gentleman from Florida is recognized with 3 minutes remaining.
To be clear, I tried to get one of the 3 podiums on the Republican side, and y'all wouldn't let me have them, so you sent me over here. But you know what? I'll make this argument at any desk in this building, from the well, from the chair. I'll make it on every street corner in this country that Washington must change. We have to break the cycle. We have to break the fever. And I would hope, truly, that the reforms that we are fighting for are reforms that would last and be embraced and that would democratize power in this institution beyond the privileged few who back us up against shutdown politics and Christmases and deadlines in order to achieve their objectives. Mr. Speaker, high inflation is on the verge of bankrupting American families. Our economy is breaking in half. A typical American family can't afford to buy a house in 99% of U.S. counties. Inflation is stealing more than $700 a month from working Americans nearly $9,000 a year. Kevin McCarthy is the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and he has failed to take a stand where it matters. So if he won't, I will. I make no apologies for defending the right of every hardworking American to afford a decent life for themselves and their families, and we have a greater opportunity to do that and to build coalitions under new leadership. We have to rip off the Band-Aid. We have to get back on a better course. And Mr. Speaker, I don't know how this vote's going to go. Usually when a vote comes to this floor, it's pretty predetermined. And this one, I'm not so sure. But I am sure that we've made the right argument, that this place deserves single-subject spending bills, that we should have 72 hours to read a bill, that something that spends more than $100 million shouldn't be put on the suspension agenda such that we can't amend it, and there shouldn't be secret side deals made on a continuing resolution to lump Ukraine in with border security. That is not right for Ukraine or border security because it fails to give either of those issues the dignity that they would require. But we can return that dignity to this House. We can get back on a better path. We can have single subject appropriations bills. We can set a budget top line. We haven't had a budget in this place since I was in high school. So let's get a budget. Let's get our act together. Let's get on with it. Let's vacate the chair. And let's get a better speaker. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back his time. All time for debate has expired. Without objection, the previous question is ordered on the resolution. The question is on adoption of the resolution. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. No. The noes have it. The resolution is, gentleman from Florida.
I'd request the yeas and nays.
The yeas and nays are requested. Those favoring a vote by the yeas and nays will rise. A sufficient number having risen, the yeas and nays are ordered. Pursuant to Clause 3 of Rule 20, the chair directs the clerk to conduct the vote by a call of the roll. The clerk will call the roll alphabetically by surname. The House will be in order. The clerk may call the roll.
Adams. Yay. Adderholt. Nay. Aguilar. Yay. Alford. No. Nay. Allen. No. Nay. Allred. Yay. Amaday. No. Nay. Armstrong. No. Arrington. Nay. Auchincloss. Yay. Babin. Nay. Bacon. Nay. Baird. Nay. Balderson. Nay. Ballant. Yay. Banks. Banks. Barr. Nay. Barragan. Barragan. Yay. Bean of Florida. No. Nay. Beatty. Yes. Yay. Bentz. Nay. Barra. Yay. Bergman. No. Nay. Beyer. Yay. Bice. No. Nay. Biggs. Yay. Bilirakis. No. Nay. Bishop of Georgia. Yes. Yay. Bishop of North Carolina. Yay. Nay. Blumenauer. Yay. Blunt Rochester. Yay. Boebert. Nay. Bonamici. Yay. Bost. Nay. Bowman. Yay. Boyle of Pennsylvania. Yay. Burkeen. Nay. Brown. Yay. Brownlee. Yay. Buchanan. Nay. Buck. Yay. Bouchon. No. Bazinski. Yay. Burchett. Yay. Burgess. Nay. Burleson. Nay. Bush. Bush. Calvert. Nay. Kamek. Kamek. Caraveo. Yay. Carbajal. Yay. Cardenas. Yay. Carey. Nay. Carl. Nay. Carson. Yay. Carter of Georgia. Nay. Carter of Louisiana. Yay. Carter of Texas. Carter of Texas. Cartwright. Yay. Kassar. Yay. Case. Yay. Caston. Yay. Castor of Florida. Yay. Castro of Texas. Yay. Chavez de Reamer. Nay. Sharfelis McCormick. Yay. Chu. Yay. Siscomani. Nay. Clark of Massachusetts. Yay. Clark of New York. Yay. Cleaver. Yay. Klein. Nay. Cloud. Nay. Clyburn. Yay. Clyde. Nay. Cohen. Yay. Cole. Nay. Collins. Nay. Comer. Nay. Connolly. Yay. Correa. Yay. Costa. Yay. Courtney. Yay. Craig. Yay. Crane. Yay. Crawford. Nay. Crenshaw. Nay. Crockett. Yay. Crow. Yay. Cuellar. Yay. Curtis. Nay. Davis of Kansas. Yay. Davidson. Nay. Davis of Illinois. Yay. Davis of North Carolina. Yay. Dean of Pennsylvania. Yay. Gaetz. Yay. Dela Cruz. Nay. DeLauro. Yay. Del Bene. Yay. DeLuzio. Yay. DeSaulnier. Yay. Desjardins. Nay. D'Esposito. Nay. Diaz-Balart. Nay. Dingle. Yay. Doggett. Yay. Donalds. Nay. Duarte. No. Nay. Duncan. Nay. Dunn of Florida. Nay. Edwards. Nay. Elsie. Nay. Emmer. Nay. Escobar. Yay. Eshue. Yay. Espaillat. Yay. Estes. Nay. Evans. Yay. Ezell. Nay. Fallon. Nay. Finstra. Nay. Ferguson. No. Finstad. Nay. Fischbach. Nay. Fitzgerald. Nay. Fitzpatrick. Nay. Fleischman. Nay. Fletcher. Yay. Flood. Nay. Foster. Yea. Fushi. Yea. Fox. Nay. Lois Frankel. Yea. C. Scott Franklin. Nay. Frost. Yes. Yea. Fry. No. Nay. Fulcher. Nay. Gaetz. Yes. Yea. Gallagher. No. Nay. Gallego. Aye. Yea. Garamendi. Yes. Yea. Garbarino. No. Nay. Mike Garcia. No. Nay. Robert Garcia. Yea. Garcia of Illinois. Yea. Garcia of Texas. Yea. Jimenez. Nay. Golden of Maine. Yea. Goldman of New York. Yea. Gomez. Yea. Tony Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez. Vicente Gonzalez. Yea. Good of Virginia. Yea. Gooden of Texas. Gooden of Texas. Gosar. Nay. Gottheimer. Yea. Granger. Nay. Graves of Louisiana. Nay. Graves of Missouri. Nay. Green of Tennessee. No. Nay. Green of Texas. Yea. Green of Georgia. Nay. Griffith. Nay. Grijalva. Yea. Grothman. Nay. Guest. Nay. Guthrie. Nay. Hageman. No. Harder of California. Yea. Harris. Nay. Harshbarger. Nay. Hayes. Yes. Yea. Hearn. Nay. Higgins of Louisiana. No. Nay. Higgins of New York. Yea. Hill. Nay. Himes. Yea. Henson. Nay. Horsford. Yea. Houchin. Nay. Houlihan. Yea. Hoyer. Hoyer. Yea. Hoyle of Oregon. Yea. Hudson. Nay. Huffman. Yay. Huizinga. Nay. Hunt. Hunt. Nay. Isa. Nay. Ivy. Yay. Jackson of Illinois. Yay. Jackson of North Carolina. Yay. Jackson of Texas. Nay. Jackson Lee. Yay. Jacobs. Yay. James. Nay. Jayapal. Yay. Jeffries. Yay. Johnson of Georgia. Yay. Johnson of Louisiana. Nay. Johnson of Ohio. Nay. Johnson of South Dakota. Nay. Jordan. Nay. Joyce of Ohio. Nay. Joyce of Pennsylvania. Nay. Camlogger Dove. Yay. Captor. Yay. Kane of New Jersey. Nay. Keating. Yay. Kelly of Illinois. Yay. Kelly of Mississippi. Nay. Kelly of Pennsylvania.
Absolutely not.
Nay. Kana. Yay. Kiggins of Virginia. Nay. Kildee. Yay. Kiley. Nay. Kilmer. Yay. Kim of California. Nay. Kim of New Jersey. Yay. Krishnamurthy. Yay. Custer. Yay. Kustoff. Nay. LaHood. Nay. LaLota. Nay. LaMalfa. Nay. Lamborn. Lamborn, nay. Landsman. Yay. Langworthy. Nay. Larson of Washington. Yay. Larson of Connecticut. Yay. Latta. Nay. LaTurner. Nay. Lawler. Nay. Lee of California. Yay. Lee of Florida. Nay. Lee of Nevada. Yay. Lee of Pennsylvania. Yay. Ledger Fernandez. Yay. Lesko. Nay. Letlow. Nay. Levin. Yay. Lou. Yay. Lofgren. Yay. Loudermilk. Nay. Lucas.
No.
Nay. Luetkemeyer.
No.
Nay. Luna. Luna. Luttrell. Nay. Lynch.
Yes.
Yay. Mace. Yay. Magaziner. Yay. Maliotakis. Nay. Man. Nay. Manning. Yay. Massey. Nay. Mast. Nay. Matsui. Yay. McBath. Yay. McCall.
No.
Nay. McLean. Nay. McClellan. Yay. McClintock. Nay. McCullum. Yay. McCormick. Nay. McGarvey. Yay. McGovern. Yay. McHenry.
No.
Nay. Meeks.
Aye.
Yay. Menendez.
Yes.
Yay. Ming.
Yes.
Yay. Muser.
No.
Nay. Mfume.
Aye.
Yay. Miller of Illinois. Nay. Miller of Ohio.
No.
Nay. Miller of West Virginia. Nay. Miller Meeks. Nay. Mills. Mills. Molinaro. Nay. Molinar. Nay. Mooney. Nay. Moore of Alabama. Nay. Moore of Utah. Nay. Moore of Wisconsin. Yay. Moran. Nay. Morelli. Yay. Moskowitz. Yay. Moulton. Yay. Mervan. Yay. Mullen. Yay. Murphy. Nay. Nadler. Yay. Napolitano. Yay. Neal. Yay. Nagoose. Yay. Nels. Nay. Newhouse. Nay. Nickel. Yea. Norcross. Yea. Norman. Nay. None of Iowa. Nay. Obernolte. Nay. Ocasio-Cortez. Yea. Ogles. Nay. Omar. Yea. Owens. Nay. Pallone. Yea. Palmer. Nay. Panetta. Yea. Pappas. Yea. Pasquarel. Yea. Payne. Yea. Pelosi. Pelosi. Peltola. Peltola. Pence. Nay. Perez. Yea. Perry. Nay. Peters. Yea. Pedersen. Yea. Pfluger. Nay. Phillips. Yea. Pingree. Yea. Pocan. Yea. Porter. Yea. Posey. Nay. Presley. Yea. Quigley. Yea. Ramirez. Yea. Raskin. Yea. Reschenthaler. Nay. Rogers of Washington. Nay. Rogers of Alabama. Nay. Rogers of Kentucky. Nay. Rose. Nay. Rosendale. Yea. Ross. Yea. Rouser. Nay. Roy. Nay. Ruiz. Yea. Rupersberger. Yea. Rutherford. Nay. Ryan. Yea. Salazar. Nay. Salinas. Yea. Sanchez. Yea. Santos. Nay. Sarbanes. Yea. Scalise. Nay. Scanlon. Yea. Schakowsky. Yea. Schiff. Yea. Snyder. Yea. Skolton. Yea. Schreier. Yay. Schweikert. Nay. Austin Scott. Nay. David Scott. Yay. Scott of Virginia. Yay. Self. Nay. Sessions. Nay. Sewell. Yay. Sherman. Yay. Sherrill. Yay. Simpson. Nay. Slotkin. Yay. Smith of Missouri. Nay. Smith of Nebraska. Nay. Smith of New Jersey. Nay. Smith of Washington. Yay. Smucker. Nay. Sorensen. Yay. Soto. Yay. Spanberger. Yay. Sparts. Nay. Stansberry. Yay. Stanton. Yay. Stauber. Nay. Steele. No. Stefanik. Nay. Style. Nay. Stube. Nay. Stevens. Yay. Strickland. Yay. Strong. Nay. Swalwell. Yay. Sykes. Sykes. Takano. Yay. Tenney. Nay. Tanadar. Yay. Thompson of California. Yay. Thompson of Mississippi. Yay. Thompson of Pennsylvania. Nay. Tiffany. Nay. Timmons. Nay. Titus. Yay. Talib. Yay. Takuda. Yay. Tonko. Yay. Torres of California. Yay. Torres of New York. Yay. Trahan. Yay. Trone. Yay. Turner. Nay. Underwood. Yay. Valadeo. Nay. Van Drew.
Nobody pull a fire alarm. No.
No. Van Dyne. Nay. Van Orden. No. Nay. Vargas. Yay. Vasquez. Yay. VC. Yay. Velasquez. Yes. Wagner. Nay. Wahlberg. Nay. Waltz. Nay. Wasserman Schultz. Yay. Waters. Yay. Watson Coleman. Yay. Weber of Texas. Nay. Webster of Florida. Nay. Winstrup. Nay. Westerman. Nay. Wexton. Yay. Wild. Yay. Williams of Georgia. Yay. Williams of New York. Nay. Williams of Texas. Nay. Wilson of Florida. Yay. Wilson of South Carolina. Nay. Whitman. Nay. Womack.
No.
Nay. Yacom. Nay. Zinke. Nay. McCarthy. Nay.
Carter of Texas. I have Tony Gonzalez. I have Gooden of Texas. I have Luna. I have McCarthy. I have Mills. I have Pelosi. I have Patel. And then I have Sykes. Okay, so
You ready to move?
now I've got to go through these.
Are you good?
House will be in order. The clerk will now call the names of members that have not already been recorded alphabetically.
Banks. Nay. Bush. Bush.
Okay, Kamek's next.
Kamek. Nay.
Okay, I've got Carter of Texas next.
Carter of Texas. Carter of Texas.
So then we're going to go to Tony Gonzalez. Let's see what we need.
Tony Gonzalez. Nay.
Have Gooden of Texas.
Gooden of Texas. Gooden of Texas.
Next I have is Luna.
Luna. Luna.
Mills next.
Mills. Nay. Pelosi. Pelosi. Peltola. Peltola. Sykes. Sykes.
Are there other members in this body who have not been recorded or who wish to change their vote? You got the tally? On this vote, the yeas are 216, the nays are 210. The resolution is adopted. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. The office of Speaker of the House of the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant.
House will come to order. The chair lays before the House a communication.
The Honorable the Speaker, House of Representatives, sir. This is to notify you that the first name on the letter received by the clerk pursuant to Clause 8B, 3B of Rule 1 is the Honorable Patrick T. McHenry of North Carolina. Signed sincerely, Kevin F. McCumber, Acting Clerk.
Pursuant to Clause 8B3 of Rule 1, I will now act as Speaker pro tem. The Chair will inform the members of the House the following. The office of the Speaker was rendered vacant pursuant to the adoption of House Resolution 757. Upon a vacancy in the office of Speaker, Clause 8B3 of Rule 1 provides that the next member on a list submitted by the Speaker, pursuant to the rule, acts as Speaker pro tem until the election of a new Speaker, and bestows the authorities of the office of Speaker upon the Speaker pro tem to the extent necessary and appropriate to that end. In the opinion of the chair, prior to proceeding to the election of a speaker, it would be prudent to first recess for the relative caucus and conferences to meet and discuss the path forward. Accordingly, pursuant to Clause 12A of Rule 1, the chair declares the House in recess subject to the call of the chair.
extended period of time, then it becomes very problematic, and it becomes problematic potentially for both parties, not just Republicans.
Three branches of government. One of them now dysfunctional. Let's check in with another branch of government, our White House. And our White House correspondent, Haley Bull, is standing by. Haley, do we have reaction from the White House yet on just what conspired on Capitol Hill?
Del, not at this point. We are waiting to see how the White House responds, if at all. We know up to this point, though, they were very careful to distance themselves from the vote itself. President Biden only saying over the weekend after a shutdown was averted that he doesn't have a vote on this matter and that he was leaving it to the congressional leadership. And that's what we have seen the White House stand by as the day progressed, as the challenge to the speakership progressed. Now, the White House was very clear that they were not getting involved in this process, that they saw it as something for the congressional members to work out. And that included not only on the Republican side, but how Democrat membership navigated this path. Now, what we have seen the White House lean into and not shy away from is criticizing what they called chaos among House Republicans for their policies following what we saw over the weekend coming to the brink of a shutdown. Now, despite how this has played out today, the thing that is steadfast for the White House is this is an important role in someone, the Speaker, someone that they will have to contend with to get some of those major funding requests that they have put forward across the finish line. You're talking border funding, you're talking Ukraine funding, which in particular we have seen the White House underscore today, but we are still waiting to see if they respond to this breaking news and how that shakes out here as well, Del.
Haley Bull for us live at the White House. Haley, thank you very much. October 3rd, 2023, just before 5 o'clock p.m., Washington history made once again. The word unprecedented will probably be removed from all of our lexicons because this has been not only a year, but a season of unprecedented events. Keep in mind that even as we speak, the former president of the United States is on trial in a civil trial in New York City. At this hour, there has been a ruling issued with regards to whether or not he will be gagged because of comments that he has made. But right now, the main drama on Capitol Hill, the Speaker of the House, the former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, is no more. That is him right after he received the gavel, the smile on his face fading today, as the same caucus that took 15 votes to install him as the Speaker of the House, succeeding Nancy Pelosi, who then became Speaker Emeritus because of her long tenure in that seat, today voting to remove him following a contentious battle between conservatives and moderates and the far right wing of the Republican Party that did not feel that he was doing enough to issue budgets that they wanted to see cut, draconian cuts on things that would affect all of Americans, many of those in the House saying that simply was not going to be the case.
Next.
David, we have never seen this before in American history. It is the first time that the House has voted to remove a Speaker of the House. McCarthy facing a rebellion from a group of handful Republicans who were angry that he made a deal with Democrats to keep the government funded. So as for what happens next, McCarthy is out. A temporary Speaker of the House will now be appointed. Much of the business of the House will be on hold. The first order of business will be electing a permanent Speaker. There will be a push to try to get Kevin McCarthy elected again. You may remember it took 15 votes in January to get him elected Speaker of the House, and right now he clearly does not have enough support from Republicans to make that happen again, David.
Yes, uncharted territory indeed. Rachel Scott live on the Hill, as always. Again, Speaker Kevin McCarthy, the Republican leader in the House, voted out. Our coverage continues. ABC News Live, abcnews.com. I'll see you for World News tonight. Good night.
This has been a special report from ABC News.
The Major League Baseball Wildcard Series continued tonight. National League gets underway at 7 on ESPN2, Arizona in Milwaukee, and then Miami at Philadelphia. 8 p.m. on ESPN. You might have heard the announcement. They did change that last scoring decision. A single for Paredes and an error on Carter, allowing him to get the second. It didn't hurt Texas. Batting with a 4-0 lead are the Rangers in the 7th inning. Jonah Heim He's been on base twice. Routine ground ball to second to Curtis Mead. And Davinsky's retired 4 in a row now. He's pitched an inning and a third. After 5+ from the starter, Tyler Glasnow.
Remember his days with Houston, Astros in the postseason. He was really there.
Hello and welcome to Scripps News Live. I'm Lauren Magarino. We are staying with breaking news.
On this vote, the yeas are 216, the nays are 210. The resolution is adopted. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. The office of Speaker of the House of the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant.
In a historic move, the House just voting to remove House Speaker Kevin McCarthy from his leadership post. Stunned silence on the House floor followed the vote. Watching, it was like you could hear a pin drop. McCarthy now becomes the first speaker ever to be involuntarily removed as speaker. He lasted 269 days on the job before a feud with far-right Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz escalated. The Florida Republican did what he threatened to do, filing an extraordinary motion to oust McCarthy from the speakership late last night, and now we have seen the result of that play out before our eyes this afternoon. Scripps News political director Andrew Rafferty is live from our Washington bureau, but we're going to begin with congressional correspondent Nathaniel Reed, who is live from Capitol Hill, has been monitoring this historic vote. Nate, McCarthy is out. How does this affect the House's ability to get anything done?
The House cannot get anything done. The only thing that the House of Representatives can do now with the presiding officer, which is Representative Patrick McHenry, the Republican of North Carolina, as designated by Speaker McCarthy to serve as the the acting Speaker of the House while they conduct a speakership election, is to vote for the next Speaker of the House. The House cannot advance bills. I'm not sure that committees can meet. And when I say I'm not sure, granted, there's no precedent to this. The Speaker has never been removed by a vote in the House of Representatives before. There is not a lot that can happen. The only thing the House can do from now until they elect a Speaker is vote on electing a Speaker manually, one person at a time, down the list from the first alphabetical members of Congress, Representative Adams and Aderholt, all the way down to Representative Zinke. And they will do that over and over and over again. The difference between where we find ourselves right now in October of 2023 versus where we were in January when McCarthy was first elected, McCarthy appeared to be the Speaker apparent. He had some trouble getting there. It was 15 rounds of voting. But right now, there is no apparent person to replace McCarthy. It's not clear who could hold the job of Speaker of the House, if not McCarthy. And to be clear, the former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, expressed a fair amount of confidence that he would be reelected up until earlier today with reporters. That being said, reporters did ask him, well, look, what if enough Republicans vote to oust you? And he somewhat acknowledged that was a very real possibility. Take a listen.
At the end of the day, if you throw a speaker out that has 99% of their conference, that kept government open and paid the troops, I think we're in a really bad place for how we're going to run Congress.
So are you expecting Democrats to back you up then?
No, I personally am not. If five Republicans go with Democrats, then I'm out. So it's whether.
Likely.
Probably so.
And more than 5 Republicans went with Democrats to remove Speaker McCarthy. And ultimately, he was ousted from office. He is no longer the Speaker of the House of Representatives. And that is in large part also due to Democrats getting involved in this. Democrats had the option to vote present or vote in favor of keeping Speaker McCarthy in order to just basically leave the ball in House Republicans' court. Earlier today, House Democrats had a meeting up here on Capitol Hill where they basically decided, we mistrust Speaker McCarthy. We are not going to allow him to continue to be Speaker of the House. Take a listen.
I think we want to be united in a party position, but I think it's safe to say there's not a lot of goodwill in that room for Kevin McCarthy.
Is there any reason?
And based on all of the conversation in there, if there's a central part of the focus, it's lacking trust in Kevin McCarthy.
There is reason after reason to just let Republicans deal with their
with their own problems. I mean, they can let them wallow in their pigsty of incompetence and inability to govern. We are following our leader, and we are not saving Kevin McCarthy.
And in the end, Democrats nor members of McCarthy's own party saved Speaker McCarthy. He is now the former Speaker of the House. And the only thing, Lauren, that the House of Representatives can do is vote and vote and vote and vote on a new Speaker of the House. Not clear who that is, if not Speaker McCarthy.
And I just want to add, we're hearing that now former Speaker Kevin McCarthy has left the chamber and did not say anything as he left the House floor. So just some color on, his reaction and lack thereof of a response to what just happened with his ousting. Quick follow up to what you're saying, because we're here, you're explaining basically, how Democrats, for lack of a better phrase, just left him out to dry. They said, we're not going to be dealing with this. We're not going to be cleaning up this mess. On top of that, you had McCarthy was projecting a level of optimism, but he also acknowledged that this outcome was likely. And the big word we kept hearing was trust on either side. So when you bring up that there could be a potential chance where McCarthy runs again for speakership, that there's a possible kind of re-election situation, what does that look like given the lack of trust that's displayed on the House floor?
That's probably the biggest question mark right now, whether he makes that outreach to Democrats, whether he goes to Democrats to cut some deal to become again Speaker of the House of Representatives. I guess technically the 52nd Speaker. I guess it would not count as the 51st anymore. But it's up to what he can agree on with the Republican conference, too. If he can reach an agreement with those detractors, those 8 or so Republicans who voted to remove him from the speakership, if he can come to some sort of understanding, if he can give them some sort of concession. Hard to imagine what those concessions are, given that he gave a lot up, including the ability for any single member to put up a vote to remove him. That was one of the concessions he gave in January. Not clear what he could give them at this point, or what he could give Democrats to become Speaker of the House once again. But at this point, it's hard to say, Lauren. It's hard to say whether Speaker McCarthy can ever again be the Speaker of the House of Representatives with the members of the House that he's currently contending with.
Yeah, and I'm looking at a list of the GOP House members who voted to remove McCarthy as Speaker, and just noting some of them were very vocal, of course, that this is what their vote was going to be, their decision on it. I think you had mentioned before something that kind of surprised me as well, Nancy Mace of South Carolina, who typically flip-flops on things like this, and decided to go ahead and vote to oust him.
Right.
So, yeah, lots of questions there. Nathaniel Reed, reporting from Capitol Hill, thank you so much. Joining me now to talk more about the turmoil among House Republicans is Scripps News political director Andrew Rafferty. And Andrew, I just want to pick off a little bit of what Nate was talking about around, McCarthy's ability or lack thereof to come up with some sort of a deal if it comes to Democrats or Republicans. How do you see that potentially playing out, or is this just moot at this point?
It will learn some interesting developments just in the past few minutes. We've seen already Matt Gaetz talking to reporters and listing off, quite frankly, a number of other members who he says would be fine speakers. Steve Scalise, of course, one of them. He's Kevin McCarthy's number 2, dealing with some very serious health issues, and has been clear that he's supportive. In fact, he spoke in support of Kevin McCarthy during the debate today. But going back to your question, what ultimately was the calculation Kevin McCarthy made? And we'll have to hear from him. He left, as you mentioned, the speaker. He went back to the speaker's office. It is worth noting that they haven't exactly taken down the plaque just yet. But the big question, of course, is whether or not he wants to retain his job and continue to negotiate. And so that's part of what they're doing right now. And so we're going to find out from Nate and our team on the Hill what exactly is going on, who's involved in some of these negotiations. Is it just Republicans, or are members of Kevin McCarthy's staff reaching out to Democrats? Because just because there weren't any Democrats that supported him today doesn't mean that there wasn't necessarily an attempt, or at least the thinking that an attempt would not be worth it because it wouldn't be successful. And so the next few hours on Capitol Hill might be almost as interesting as the vote that we just saw, because Kevin McCarthy no doubt has some very tough decision making ahead of him, whether or not he wants to proceed, which he has not been clear about yet. He has been kind of saying, let's see what happens, but we're going to have to see what happens pretty soon.
Oh, yeah, and it's all fluid. And just to add to the recent comments from Gaetz around, putting out some names on who he thinks could be potentially Speaker moving forward, just throwing out there that our Joe St. George, Deputy Political Director, had spoken with Ron DeSantis earlier today, and he had suggested Representative Chip Roy or Representative Tom Massey for Speaker of the House. So definitely already some names being floated. They recently, Congress and President Biden signing a 45-day budget, extension here. I mean, are we going to have another shutdown?
I think that's kind of the real-world impact that everyone should be keeping an eye on. In this moment, it seems that it is just some sort of very intra-congressional D.C. storyline, and the fact of the matter is, yeah, today it kind of is that. But it doesn't take long for this to start being felt elsewhere. And we can go back to the beginning of January when we saw those prolonged votes just to get Kevin McCarthy to the speakership to begin with. The reality is that the House couldn't do anything during that time, and now in October they're back to that same point. And it's not just about renaming post offices. We're now just over 40 days from a crisis that we thought we had averted over the weekend in funding the government, and there's very real-world implications on that. And so there is, I think, an appetite, at least among Democrats and some other members, more moderate Republicans, to get something figured out sooner rather than later, before this turns from a kind of a D.C.-centric story that is no doubt historic and noteworthy, but might not be felt in people's day-to-day lives. That narrative changes if they can't fund the government, Lauren.
All right, Andrew Rafferty reporting from Washington. Historic news here, but of course with potential implications that would affect folks across the nation with a potential other government shutdown. We'll see how this has to play out. The first time in history, folks. This has never happened before. Uncharted territory. You're going to hear it all day and possibly all week. We're going to take a quick break.
Over 13 million Americans were affected by identity theft in 2022, and the threats go way beyond just credit card fraud. Today's identity thieves can use your information in ways that are easy to miss by just monitoring accounts and credit, like opening loans, transferring home titles, even committing crimes.
Someone got my social security number, made a driver's license, and it was used for criminal activity.
You can do so much with a social security number that I didn't know could happen. They drained my bank account. It was terrifying.
You're even more vulnerable than you realize. Your information is exposed through online shopping, banking, even corporate data breaches. No wonder there's a new victim of identity theft every 3 seconds. Only LifeLock alerts you to the widest volume of threats all in one place, like someone trying to use your social security number, open a new loan in your name, or even commit a crime in your name.
There was a big yes button and there was a big no button. I clicked, that's not me, and LifeLock took it from there.
If you become a victim of identity theft, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will be assigned to your case and work to fix the issue on your behalf.
If something happens, you have somebody fighting for you.
All LifeLock members are backed by the LifeLock $1 Million Protection